Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. Today may be the final episode here in the big MT. Let's see what happens. Auto dock.
You require some additional services?
Yes.
And rightly so.
I don't have the caps for that, so why am I looking at it? Because that's not where I need to be.
You got some plans for me, don't you? Yeah, I can smell it all over you.
Oh boy. Like to process some plants, I guess.
I love
Sure. Process seeds with the planters.
stay away, could you? Yeah, I knew you'd be back.
Oh boy. Oh, that's right, I don't have a high enough science, do I? Oh, no, there it is. Sensor modules. Jukebox.
What's the haps?
Found the WAV file.
Right on, Daddy-o. Right on.
I don't know what that does. Let's find out. Critical strike, explosion. Okay.
Might I be of service, sir?
Yes, I need 20,000 caps.
Very good, sir.
Okay, this looks promising. You really don't have much here for me, though.
Might I be of service, sir?
Alright, how about repair something? Repair that. Perfect.
Might I be of service, sir?
Now, I'm gonna sell you this stuff. Wait, I'm confused. You don't get caps, really? Fine. can I buy back? Perfect.
You require some additional services?
Yes. Implants. Bonus HP from food.
One time, the biological research station told me drop the mug down this processing chute. When I reached in, seated me.
Right.
Well, hello.
Alright. What do we got? That's it?
Well, hello.
That's it?
Still.
Okay, whatever. I'm leaving. Let's go to the think tank. Here we go. Oh, that's not creepy at all.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
I found my brain. Now you and I are going to settle things.
I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite. Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again.
I'm not handing it over. We need to talk.
And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments.
You think I'm the lobotomite? From my skull houses the brain of Mobius. Sure.
That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. There's no way Mobius would condescend to step inside you. Besides, there's no way such a thing could be accomplished. It's impossible.
Oh boy. Science provided a way. Why not?
A way is correct, as is a way, which is where your body is going once we're done peeling you.
Mobius and I reached an understanding.
You are lying. No, you are not. Your heartbeat, perspiration, all excessively confident and sure of yourself. Why would you reason with that maniac? He'll destroy us all!
Maybe you should confer with your colleagues first.
Nonsense! Confer, colleagues? Those are two words I do not recognize.
Dr. Klein, please. Let's see what its insides look like. Finally.
Klein, you know, this lobotomite, it's a great sounding board. You respect ideology, right? This one's, well, it's got good ideas.
Silence, Dr. O. This is a think tank decision. Save your objections until after I have decided our course of action.
You know what, Klein? Stick a straw in your tank and suck yourself. Long and deep.
Oh my.
And my name is Zero. Yeah, a big, fat zero with a slash through it.
The slash as a designator of... Why, that is brilliant. But how did you...
The lobotomite taught me that. Taught me a name is more than, that I should take pride in things like names. And you know what? Forget it, Klein. I hate you. And your theory of brachial beam oscillation? The Chinese had it first, you copycat.
How dare you? Brainial beam oscillation was solely my discovery. I expressly told you that and deleted all evidence to the contrary.
If I may, I feel as if I must be the voice of reason here. This lobotomite is much like us. Regarding even animals and pets as nothing more than avenues to promote science. There is good here. Instead of ending its life on the table, we should prolong its suffering in the name of science. Like good old Gabe, the finest of lab specimens.
Why am I even listening to you fools? The determinators are greater than the hesitators, so hesitators, be quiet. We are bigger, smarter, and floatier than you, lobotomites. We don't wish to fight you, so surrender your brain, now.
You may have noticed the pacification field is down.
Fight? I've never been in a fight. What do I... Ah! Colleagues! Think tank! Alert! Alert! We are under attack! Does this weapon have soft lock? Anyone?
Oh. Well, ouch. Ouch. They hurt a lot.
For us.
I will blast you back to 2060.
Oh my. That's a little disturbing. It had a blood sausage. Wait, that's only 3. Okay, there's 4. And there's the other guy. So now what?
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others. Which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The Sync Central Intelligence Unit was impressed by the amount of exploration the courier had undertaken. Facilities believed lost, destroyed, or ones that had simply gotten up and walked to new locations had been rediscovered by its intrepid new master. Internally, the artificial personality debated as to whether it preferred the old management to the new, and concluded that the courier's thorough approach to research and investigation was admirable and worthy of its respect.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The Sync atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant, and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
The thing continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magnetohydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except, he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910. If you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X-8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after, the stealth suit had left it without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
The think tank basement, filled with lobotomized robotical frames of the doctors, now served as a graveyard. The monitors had recorded the battle in its entirety, including the think tank's final, shrill, terrified screams, whimpers, and pleas for mercy. They broadcast these humiliating last moments as a warning to anyone approaching the perimeter that other smarty pants were not welcome. The courier was the inheritor of the Big Empty, and there was room for only one will in the halls of the think tank dome.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries, to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, Old World blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
All right. Well, we've lost the brainless perk. Gained the big-brained perk. No idea what that does. Only 10% more resistant to addiction. I don't use it anyways. Damage thresholds are improved by 10%. Big Mountain transponder. Alright, so we can go back and forth now. Okay. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Sure. No, we sure don't. Yeah, we're gonna upsell on that anyways.
Here and now, you got its ups and downs, but focusing on the
I trust matters regarding your brain were resolved to your satisfaction.
Yep.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Might I be safe in the assumption that matters with the think tank have been satisfactorily concluded vis-à-vis your residence in this domicile?
Yes. Do you have some
Very.
Any new stuff to buy? Probably not. Yeah, no. Alright, back to the Mojave we go. I guess. Wait. How do I get out of here?
false alarm. It was just a plant.
Okay. Still want to know how I get out of here. Okay. She's still not answering my question. How does one leave this place? Oh no, I've just gotten lost. How do I leave this place? Okay.
Soon, pitiful worms. Soon I will rule.
Will Sir be staying for any considerable length of time during Sir's visit?
And your lives will have their doneness setting turn to darkest.
Greetings, citizen.
Okay, this is messing with me. How do I get out of here? And of course, the game crashed on us. Well, this one we had to do a little differently, because not only did the game crash, but apparently this last small section actually had an audio issue. So I'm actually trying to do this as a voiceover, trying a little bit of a different approach. Basically what we're doing is we are just, wrapping up our tour. We've left the big MT. Yep, and as I'm watching the video back, I see some lag issues. So yeah, there was something going on this day. When we were recording this video, it just did not want to work. But thankfully, it's only the last few minutes of the video. So basically, it's just doing a little shopping, seeing what we have, and then this trader that just happened to be here. Look and see what items we could use. Some ammunition. Debating on the 12.7 SMG upgrade, because I kind of want to ditch the 10mm and 9mm when I run out of ammo and go to more powerful guns to make the next couple of DLCs a little bit easier. Also going to switch over at some point, probably to the assault carbine. The big thing right now is not only do we need to get better guns, we also need more caps. So here we're just basically taking our time. Can't seem to decide what direction I want to go in here. But that's okay. It's typically how a Fallout playthrough happens. You go through, you have no idea what you really want to do, you start just exploring. So now we're just going to pardon me. Now we're basically just going to swap out all of our inventory, deposit all of our weapons, and re-equip some weapons, and take it from there. I gotta set up for the next set. Finally equipping, or I should say, adding the mod for the anti-material rifle, because we're going to start using that, especially in the next DLC that we go into for the Lonesome Road. There's a lot of open areas, and the anti-material rifle is going to be good for it. So we're definitely, we're going to probably spend the next couple of episodes burning the 9mm and 10mm ammo, getting some caps, advancing the story some. May end up going to the Sierra Madre, may wait. Not really sure. Right now, recalling getting some of our healing items back out of storage. And basically just running with it to see what's going to happen. And by now I've already noticed that the audio for the game has cut out as well for some reason. It just wasn't a very good video to record, I guess. We're swapping over to Joshua Graham's armor, depositing the K9000 because that's a super heavy gun. We may go back to it later, but until then we're going to swap back to the Cowboy Repeater. Take some of the extra stuff out to sell, and basically just get rid of some of the extra stuff, make some adjustments. And since really we only had a couple minutes left, we were just doing the final sorting because this video was going pretty long. Wasn't going to re-record the last 5-10 minutes of it, the sound came back in the next video that we recorded, so it's not a problem. So I figured I'd try my hand and, do a little voiceover in this one, doing a little narration and see if it comes out okay. Sometimes it's hard to narrate and play at the same time. Kind of get a little sidetracked. Setting our hotkeys make it easier to swap between weapons, and of course, as I do, I get sidetracked because I must have all 8 slots full. Must have 8 weapons at all times. Minimum. Just in case some run out or some break, you can never be too prepared. So, swapping over to the 12 gauge hunting shotgun. So both running the 20 gauge and 12 gauge. May end up at some point swapping the caravan shotgun out permanently, but probably not until the next round of weapons. So we're going to move on to the next stage of the game. When we go to the Lonesome Road, hopefully have some bigger weapons like 12.7, the SMG with some upgrades, go into the strip, talk to Benny, or find Benny, talk to him. Haven't decided what we're going to do. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.